Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The sands of Nahekara are far from here as the Tomb Kings take to the frozen tundra against the High Elves. I am leading the forces of the Tomb Kings, and Scyther is leading the High Elves. Now, for the Tomb King army, it is led by Arkhan the Black, with his Tomb Blade of Arkhan, the Staff of Nagash, the Libra Mortis, Fate of Yuna, and Spirit Leech. I have a standard kit for him, as well as we have a Tomb Prince with the Guardian ability, Casket of Souls, 2 Shopti Grapos, one of them being the Chosen of the Gods. We have the Eyes of the Desert. We have a couple Spearmen on the flanks. We have some Skeleton Warriors and 3 Tomb Guards, and that will wrap up the Tomb Kings. Now for the High Elves, we have Teclis up on his Phoenix. He has Fiery Convocation, Regrowth. He also has Net of Amatoch and the Potion of Koroi. Now we also have 2 Eagle Cloudbolt Throws. They'll be going for the Casket. We've got a couple Silver Helms. We have 2 White Lions of Trace. We have 3 Lothern Sea Guards, a couple Spearmen, Silverin Guard, and we have some War Lions in the back. Now, let's get this show on the road. As the Tomb Kings will kind of move up a little bit to get in range with the Casket. And I believe the High Elves will also kind of be pushing forward, at least with their Eagle Club Bolt Throwers, and they will definitely be going for the Casket. Get that off the field. So the armies are kind of slowly moving towards one another, as kind of the cavalry forces are kind of starting to swing behind the crest of this hill, kind of hoping to remain hidden, hopefully get around, shut down those Shopti. Now, yeah, the Eagle Cloudbolt Throwers are kind of moving up a little bit ahead of most of the units, but the Casket is opening up and firing in, getting a few shots down onto the White Lions, not doing a whole lot of damage, just kind of just lightly clipping that unit. Some more shots raining in. Again, not really making any direct contact yet. That was just kind of clipping the tail end of that formation. But the Casket is really kind of on the clock here. They need to be getting as much damage in as they can. So these kind of half hits, if even, is not really going to be doing a whole lot of good for them. But that shot right there, now that was hitting right into the middle of the formation, doing some very good damage. But these Eagle Cloudbolt Throwers are going to be getting into range any second now, as they have stopped and opened up right away onto the Casket. First shot's coming in, just clipping the Casket, but the second volley coming in, doing very good damage. But the Casket is also doing some very good damage of itself against the Lothern Sea Guards, but I don't know if it's going to be doing enough damage fast enough to kind of justify its cost. Now we have the Lothern Sea Guard are getting into range, but the Shopti have opened up, getting some good shots in as well. They'll probably want to be pulling back pretty quick here to avoid kind of the focus fire of the Lothern Sea Guard. I mean, one unit's not going to be doing a whole lot against them, but all 3 can do a little number on them. Now, these War Lions are still kind of sitting behind the hill, remaining hidden, but these Silver Helms have now opened up. The Casket is almost down now, not really proven its worth in this matchup. But now both the Shopti units look to be targeting these Silver Helms over here. They're just kind of sitting stationary. That's going to be getting some very good damage, especially these Chosen of the Gods getting nice armor piercing as they are taking off a good chunk of health there. But now all 3 of the Lothern Sea Guards are firing into the Chosen of the Gods as the Tomb Kings now advance their forces. So the frontline engagement is about to be underway as those forces charge up. It looks like the Spearmen might be getting their charge. Skeleton Warriors not going to be getting their counter charge in. That is not going to be ideal there. Then the Tomb Guards get their charge off, as well as those other Skeleton Spearmen. Now, the Tomb Guard here, they'll be trading fairly well against the Spearmen, but not so much against the Sylvan Guard, especially Sylvan Guard being engaged with the Skeleton Warriors. The White Lions of Trace will also be trade fairly well into the Tomb Guard, doing some very good armor-piercing damage there, as the Cav forces of the High Elves are now in the back, kind of looking to put pressure onto these Ushabti, get them shut down. Fiery Convocation coming to go right through these Tomb King units here, and Teclis himself flying in, so that Fiery Convocation going down, just clipping these front units, but going right through the middle of that unit Skeleton Warriors. Now, if that had gone right down the pipe here, that would have done a lot more damage. But Teclis now pulling out, as Arkhan is with his Tomb Prince getting that Guardian ability. A summon of Skeleton Warriors going down, trying to screen out these Lothern Sea Guards, but a rear charge coming in from the Silver Helms onto the Tomb Guard. That is going to be very good indeed, but with Arkhan and the Tomb Prince there, they probably won't want to be sticking around for too long. But it looks like another rear charge got into the backs of these Tomb Guard, and that will be crumbling and disintegrating into the snow. As now the Silver Helms are going to be pulling back, looking to maybe shut down these Ushabti here. You have the Spearmen and this other unit of Ushabti sitting right next by, as well as Arkhan. It looks like he's now trying to start and look like a Fate of Buna almost went down, but it looks like that was cancelled. One unit of Silver Helms is running. Looks like a regrowth, though, going down on them. Might be able to get some healing back, but they don't have a whole lot of models left, only 10, so that regrowth probably a little wasted on them with so few model count left. Now, the Tomb Kings are starting to circle back to kind of provide, I guess, no, they are kind of leaving Arkhan to the Sylvan Guard, and White Lions know that Arkhan will be pulling back. He does not want to be engaged with the Sylvan Guard, especially with Teclis flying above. It looks like Teclis is trying to get on top of him. These unit of Skeleton Warriors will be able to screen him out, though, so Arkhan will be avoiding the brunt of that. So, a net going down. Looks like it is pinning Arkhan in place as the War Lions charge in, and all of the Lothern Sea Guard are now firing into the formation as well. Now, Arkhan is getting a little isolated here. He's going to want to pull back. Looks like Teclis isn't going to want to let that happen. He dives in, getting a nice rear charge in, and now he is doing some very good damage to Arkhan. Arkhan is probably going to be going down very soon. It looks like a Ushabti summons came down into the back in the middle of the Eagle Cloud Bolt Throwers, hoping to get them off the field. These War Lions are engaged with the Tomb Guard and Skeleton Warriors. Having both those units together might be able to win that engagement, as the Tomb Prince pushes off the Silver Helms for the second time, and Ushabti giving some shots in for good measure. Now the Eyes of the Desert are firing right into Teclis, doing some very good damage. If they had a little bit more ammo here, they might have actually been be able to take him down. But that is some very meaty shots indeed. A few shots going all the way through to those Tomb Guard, but that is a lot of damage going Teclis's way. So he is not going to want to be sticking around too long, but a Fiery Convocation going to be going right through 2 units of Skeleton Spears, and perhaps clipping these Eyes of the Desert as well. It's going to go through, roasting those units, going through the Eyes of the Desert, not doing a whole lot of damage to them, but doing a lot of damage to the Skeleton Spearmen, and they will be disintegrating into the snow. Looks like the Ushabti summon was able to shatter one of the Eagle Cloud Bolt Throwers, but the other one is now coming back, so they might be able to get back onto their artillery pieces. So now Teclis is kind of flying away, looking to probably heal up before coming back into the engagement. Eyes of the Desert kind of trying to push off these White Lions for the final time, and the Tomb Prince getting onto these War Lions with his good anti-large and armor piercing. Now the Ushabti look like they are firing into something in the back. They are shooting into the Silver Helms, who are just kind of sitting idly by, hoping to get them routing and off the field, as the Chosen of the Gods are getting some shots right down the line of these Spearmen, as those shots rain in, going right through their formation, clipping a few units there as they go through the Tomb Prince coming into the Skeleton Spearmen. Now the Eyes of the Desert have been netted down, and all three of the Lothran Seaguard are now firing into them, doing some very good damage as they finally get off that net and are trying to push back these Lothran Seaguard. Though all these Lothran Seaguards are very low on ammo, they probably should do well to come back, support the Tomb Prince, kind of push off anything that kind of comes their way. Tomb Kings really need to kind of group up as the Ushabti are able to push off the Silverin Guard, as one of the units is completely out of ammo, and that unit should be moving up to engage into the melee fight. Now the Tomb Prince is charging into the flank of these Lothran Seaguard with the support of some Skeleton Spearmen, and now these Eyes of the Desert are finally trying to get back to assist, though Teclis is trying to prevent that from happening, getting some shots into the back of him. And the Lothran Seaguard using up the last of its ammo. The Tomb Prince here is the last bastion for the Tomb Kings, with his kind of leadership buff, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. With Teclis still up on his bird, kind of regaining his health, I bet you he should have at least maybe another regrowth in his back pocket. So with all of that healing that he still has, I don't know if that Tomb Prince is going to be enough to kind of finish the job. And with only a few shots left on the Ushabti Greatbow, it's not going to be doing a whole lot of damage either. They might get a few kills off on some of the infantry, but for the most part, I think the High Elves are going to have it here, especially with Teclis is just going to be able to kind of cycle charge in and out of the formation. Now we have the Silverin Guard are actually coming back, and that's going to be bad news for what's left of the Tomb King army for sure, as Teclis kind of swoops in to prevent these Ushabti from rejoining the rest. Though it looks like most of their unit is going to continue into the frontline engagement as they get a charge into the backs of the Silverin Guard. And even with their ammo spent, they will do fairly well in melee combat, but that is not their forte, as the rest of the High Elves kind of surround the last units of the Tomb Kings as they are now starting to crumble into the ground with only the Tomb Prince left. But it looks like army losses are kicking in, and now the Tomb Prince will be disintegrating any second as well. And there he goes, and that will be game. High Elves taking it. Very good game indeed. Let's take a look at the after report. So, as you can see, the Casket of Souls, as I said before, it didn't really carry its weight for the cost that it had. It was just taken out by these Eagle Cloud boat throwers way too fast as well. And now the Chosen of the Gods, they actually did fairly good work here. They were able to shoot into the Silver Helms, do good damage there, and clip some of the units of the Silverin Guard as well. But the White Lines of Trays were able to, and the Silverin Guard were able to trade very well into the Tomb Guard, and as well as with the help of some of the rear charges from the two Silverin Guard before they were able to get taken out. They did very well as well, but also the Eyes of the Desert, had they been a little bit more conservative with their ammo earlier on, when they were shooting into Teclis, they got him very low on health. So if they had a few more volleys in, they may have been able to finish him off, and that could have been a big turning point in the battle had that been able to happen. But regardless, it was a very good match by Scyther. This was part of the Snotling League, so this was in the first round, and there's going to be a total of 7 rounds in that initial league. So there should be maybe a few more matches to come from that. But thank you all for watching, and have a good one.